Hello and welcome to a quick guide on flak kiting, the special role for the special Flak Shot mechanic during Sabetha, the third and final boss of the first raid wing, Vale. This guide is mostly focusing on the role of a Flak Kiter, and it's not talking about Sabetha as a whole. If you want to learn more about Sabetha, check the links down in the description. There are many different builds that can do this job. You most commonly see a ranged support player doing it though, but a ranged DPS player like a Virtuoso can do this if needed. Most commonly, you see a Heal Alacrity Druid or a Heal Alacrity Mechanist do this job, with Heal Alacrity Mechanist being my personal favorite. Right after the fight begins, Sabetha will begin shooting Flak Shot at whoever is the furthest person away. 4 fire fields will appear on the ground around that person, which will last for around 30 seconds and deal moderate damage to anyone standing in them. So if you're wanting to place a flak in a specific location, such as not on the group, you're going to want to make sure that the Flak Kiter is the furthest away from the boss and is off the group. This is typically done by having the Flak Kiter position themselves on the outer edge of the platform. Her normal attack rotation will be to fire 2 auto attack shots and then a Flak Shot, and then repeat that loop. So you know that a Flak Shot will happen after Sabetha has auto attack twice since the previous Flak Shot. The timing between 2 Flak Shots, aka the time it takes for Sabetha to auto attack twice, is roughly 9 seconds. Because of the downtime between the 2 Flak Shots, you do not need to spend all of your time on the outer edge of the platform. In between Flak Shots, you can run back to the boss to support the group. This is particularly important if you're playing a build like Heal Alacrity Druid, where you need to be on the group to buff them up and heal them. This is still good to do for other builds like Heal Alacrity Mechanist, but isn't as important because builds like that Mechanist build can almost entirely support their team from afar without costing the team too much. But of course, when you're trying to optimize your gameplay and the team composition, you will always want to run back in. And on the other hand, if you or your squad are newer to this build or fight, don't worry as much about running back in. A minor DPS loss is acceptable if it means your team stays alive. One important mechanic to remember during this fight is Sabetha's Flamewall. Every 45 seconds, and as Sabetha reappears on the platform after each bandit champion reaches 25% health or has been alive for a minute, Sabetha will do the Flamewall attack. This skill, for the most part, will instantly kill anyone who touches it, so you want to make sure you avoid it as well. When Flamewall appears, you may be on the outer edge of the platform, which makes this more difficult to avoid. You want to make sure you run back into Sabetha as Flamewall starts in order to avoid the attack, or use a teleport to avoid it. Additionally, as a Flak Kite, you are also taking up the responsibility for baiting Sapper Bombs to throw at your teammates who are killing cannons. Bandit Sappers will throw the bomb at whoever is the westernmost player on the platform in range of the Bandit Sapper. So typically speaking, the Flak Kiter will sit between the north and west cannons in order to be in a position to kite the bombs. Standing here makes it very easy to get any bombs from sappers that spawn at the north, west, and south positions, but getting the one from the east position is a little trickier because you will need to move in closer to the group to get in range of the sapper, but remember that as you do this, you don't want flak to appear on your team. Whenever you get the Sapper Bomb, make sure you throw it at the correct person killing the cannon, so it is exceptionally important for you to be paying attention to what is going on to make sure you know which cannon you need to throw the bomb to. Using your movement skills can be helpful to get you to a position to throw the bomb and back to where you need to stand, but remember every time that you use a movement skill, you might also need it for Flamewall. Lastly, the final big mechanic that you should be aware of are the heavy bombs that start spawning at 75%. This mechanic is less of a priority for you, but you should definitely be the one who kicks off any heavy bombs that appear on the platform, at least the ones that are near you. Your other support player, or any DPS player that isn't zoned out, can get the heavy bombs on the other side of the platform. So just to summarize everything, Sabetha will begin to shoot flak at whoever is the furthest away on the platform. Sabetha's loop is 2 auto attacks and then a Flak Shot, so you can move in to buff and heal your team in between Flak Shots while moving back out to kite the flak. Be aware of any flame walls that spawn and don't die to them. Do your best to stand in the northwestern corner of the arena and bait any Sapper Bombs and throw those bombs at the correct cannon person, and destroy any heavy bombs that are near you. And now for some extra tips and notes for you. Sabetha will not use Flak Shot while she is doing Flamewall or while she is off the platform, so you do not need to worry about flak hiding during any of those times and can be standing with your group. Sometimes, especially in newer groups, people going to cannons will be standing further away from you. You can try to be further away by standing on the very edge of the platform, but the launch pads are going further off the platform than where you can stand, so it's mostly up to your cannon teammates to not be further away than you. Many groups at the start of the fight will bait Sabetha's Flamewall to spawn right in front of the first cannon, South Cannon, so the Flamewall will pass that cannon as soon as possible so the first cannon person doesn't miss their launch. so you should probably bait with them or take the 10% chance that Sabetha will target you with her Flamewall. And as this happens, also be aware that you're going to want to bait the bomb to launch your friend over, so you have some tricky maneuvering at the very start of the fight. Bandit sappers will always spawn at the same time as a cannon, opposite of where the cannon is. So using the first cannon that spawns at south, for example, the sapper will spawn at north, so you can always know where the sapper is going to spawn based on where the cannon is spawning. Make sure you don't accidentally fall off or launch yourself off the platform. I, for one, have most definitely never ever accidentally used the acid bomb skill on engineer, thrown myself off the platform and caused a wipe. I have never done that. Communication is sometimes important for you. If you die, it would be good for your team to quickly know that so someone else can run out and take your place. Sometimes, mostly in newer groups, you may want to be communicating when you are throwing to a cannon so the cannon person can be ready. And lastly, just remember to be careful about Flamewall. You obviously don't want to run into it. If you use a teleport, make sure you don't teleport into it. If you're rezzing somebody, make sure that you won't die while rezzing. One player down is better than two, especially when that second player is a Flak Kiter. Worst case scenario, there's apparently a very specific timing in order to dodge through the Flamewall, but I don't know much about that. But if you're going to die, you might as well try dodging through it. This has been a short guide on how to Flak Kite during the Sabetha encounter. I hope this helped you. If you are an experienced Flak Kiter and have any other tips, feel free to leave them down in the comments so we can all learn more. Have a good one, everyone.